We are live. Big show for you tonight. We're going to talk 5 secret reasons why Conor McGregor will absolutely win. Some of these secrets are hidden in plain sight. Nobody's talking about this. We're going to get into it. I'm 100% sure Conor McGregor will beat Max Holloway. I said I was 100% sure Justin Gaethje will beat Ilia Topuria. And I said I was 100% sure that Sean Strickland will beat Hamzat. And I said I'm 100% sure that Josh Hokett is going to fight for a UFC heavyweight title. 3-4 months ago, I said something like that. I was like, he's next, guys. Everybody was like, what are you talking about? Tom Aspinall's a champ. Well, guess what? Call me Destiny Dave because I predict these things. Let's get into it. My name is King David MMA. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a pro MMA champion. I've been around the world, fought on national TV, done $2 million in gym sales. I coach and I train at the greatest gym on the planet, Extreme Couture, guys. Also, make sure you send your coach to Fight Circus. If you got a coach, if you train martial arts, you know what I'm saying? Fight Circus will get them right. Fight Circus will get them right. We've done $2 million in gym sales for one local gym. And if you think that your coach would benefit from that, make sure you let them know. Appreciate you. So, and I also appreciate you if you're subscribed. If you're not a subscriber, unfortunately, I can't appreciate you until you tap that subscribe button. It feels so good when you do. It takes about a half a second. It helps me out tremendously, and I appreciate you for it. So shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the channel already. And if you'd like to hop in the chat with me, when we go live, it's different times. So make sure you got notifications on. We got the 10-7 MMA in the chat. He's saying, you're right back at you, bro. All right, I dropped Studio Millions in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay the bills around here, guys. You know, I'm trying to be the most sponsored athlete in the history of athletics. So between Studio Millions, Fight Circus, listen, dude, I just got an offer for a caffeine sponsor, guys. I got mixed feelings about it. But just know that I'm probably going to accept the bag. If you don't see me consuming it, just know I took the bag, right? Because just because the product's not perfect for me doesn't mean that it's not right for somebody in my viewership. This product does not sponsor me. This is a Whole Foods 0-calorie soda. These things are freaking delicious. I fuck with them because I like stevia. Stevia is not for everybody. We're going to get into these 5 secret reasons why Conor will win. Right now, let me check the chat. David, brother, I really think if anyone picks Conor, they're doing it based off vibes. Why are you picking him? I'm glad you asked. We've got 5 secrets that are hidden in plain sight. So people see Conor versus Max, and almost every single person has a very similar take. Conor can get it done in 1.5 rounds, or Max is going to drag him to deep waters and either drown him or win a decision. That's the consensus, that the cardio goes to Max, the volume goes to Max, and that Conor's only chance is getting him out of there with KO. There's huge flaws in this logic, which we're going to break down right now. So, Conor wins decisions. Every fight that Conor McGregor has had that has gone to a decision, Conor McGregor has won, including the fight with Max Holloway, where Conor won the decision. And Conor, people forget this, Conor went the distance, and he won the decision against Nate Diaz, who's considered a cardio machine. Someone that pressures and makes people fade. At the time, Nate was considered to have the best cardio in the UFC. Conor took him the distance and beat him. And I believe that was a 5-round decision. What's even more important about that decision is that fight against Nate was at 170. But Conor was coming up in weight. Conor wasn't cutting to 70. So now Conor has been on, he self-admits, this isn't me accusing him of anything. He admits he's been on performance-enhancing drugs. He's been on steroids. He's been on peptides. He was prescribed steroids, growth hormone, etc. by his doctor. he took it and he got big. So now he has increased bone density and he has increased muscle fibers that do not go away. Some of the gains leave when you get off juice, but some of the gains stay. That's why if you're ever training, some people who are natural or clean right now, if they've done steroids in the past, they feel a different type of strong still. You're like, dude, what is up with this guy? He's fucking freakishly strong. It's like, dude, he juiced as a teenager or, in his 20s. So Conor is going to have that effect going into this fight. He's going to have that benefit. Now, he's already gone to a decision at 170 and won against someone who at the time would have as good, if not better, cardio than Max. And he beat Max in a decision as well. So where is this narrative coming from that Max Holloway is going to win by decision? I believe Max Holloway has 7 decision losses. So what, somebody, please, anybody, what numbers is this based on? What it's like, and 10-7, I see you're saying about the vibes. I feel like that's what everybody else is doing. Everybody's caught up in the vibes. It's like this narrative that's going around. Like, oh, Conor's got cardio issues. When has Conor really had serious cardio issues? He went, what did he get stopped in the 10th, in the 11th maybe with Floyd, 10th or 11th with Floyd? That's 30 minutes of fighting against somebody who would say is the best boxer ever in a boxing match, which is limited rule set to keep Floyd alive. That's not Conor's wheel. He's not allowed to wheel kick the guy. He's not allowed to blast double him. And so he fought in a limited rule set. He turned, in that fight, Conor said he turned Floyd into a Mexican, and Floyd pressured him. Conor does have an issue where he looks like at one point in the fight, he begins to fade. But what people don't remember is that Conor also catches his second win. So in that Floyd fight, I was hoping that he would get through the round because he's been known to catch a second wind. If you guys go back and watch his fights, when he starts to fade, it starts to look bad, and then he catches his second win. The issue that happened with him and Nate in the first fight is that Nate hit him with the 1-2, bing, bing, and that's what turned Conor into a wrestler. Conor was gassed and he was fading. Conor could have caught his second win, but he got cracked. Boom, boom. It's the getting cracked that caused the shooting, the wrestling. It's not just the pressure. So people misremember that fight. Also, people forget, and we're going to get into this as well, people forget that Conor McGregor swept one of the best grapplers at the time in the UFC, one of the best submission artists. Everybody's talking about Nate's jiu-jitsu. Conor McGregor swept Nate Diaz with an X-guard sweep from bottom. Go back and rewatch it. Go back and rewatch it. I know. It's almost, because of the narrative, this is almost unbelievable for me to say. But if you go back and watch it without any, just trust your eyes, it's crazy when you're like, dude, no one's talking about that. No one remembers that. Wow, that's incredible. Also, if you go watch the fight with Khabib, which is my next subject of the 5 secret reasons, Conor fought Khabib for 4 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Conor McGregor, partying, drinking. They said that he wasn't actually training for the fight. He was just sparring. So he would show up to the gym, spar like 5 rounds, bounce, and go party. He showed up, and he was injured. From my understanding, he had like an injured leg or a broken foot for that fight. Conor fought anyway. And he fought Khabib for 4 rounds. He also counter-wrestled Khabib in positions, and it wasn't like Khabib just blast doubled and put him down. He had stuffed Khabib in that fight as well. So it's not the Conor can't grapple at all. Dude, Conor looked better than almost anyone who's ever fought Khabib. One of my teammates, Zach Jusela, he got brought in to help Conor train for the Nate rematch. Zach's trained with everybody, fought everybody. He's trained with Khabib. He's trained with everybody. He trains at Extreme Couture. If he's at the gym tomorrow, I'm going to do a whole video with him on this. But he says Conor McGregor is the best mixed martial artist he's ever trained with, ever. They brought him in to mimic Nate. And he's like, dude, Conor's better than anyone, bro. Conor's better than anyone. We're going to get to the rest of this list in a second. Let me check the chat. Khabib and Nate were the cardio issues, but nothing about Conor matters anymore. It's been 5 years. Broken leg, coke, alcohol, weight gain later, while Max has been scrapping. Right, and so someone can make that counter argument that Max has got more miles on him, has more physical damage, has been knocked out in that time, has had head trauma, and Conor took a 5-year break to rehab his body. You know, he's 37, hasn't fought since 2021. You don't believe in ring rust, right? Or you don't believe in any ring rust. I do not think it's going to be relevant. So I beat a gentleman named Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson went on to fight in the UFC. And he and I remained friendly. And we had some mutual friends as well. And, you know, in the fight, I could be vicious. So he screamed for the referee to pull me off him. He didn't tap, he screamed. And he's a competitive guy. He made it to the UFC. He got cut from the, he knocked somebody out in the UFC, kept fighting, got cut from the UFC, and made it back to the UFC, went through the Ultimate Fighter, made it to the finale of the Ultimate Fighter. He's a very competitive guy. And so he pulled up to Extreme Couture. Now, this is 10, 12 years after he and I fought. He will tell you it didn't go well for him. And that's because I've got his number. He can beat everybody else, but for whatever reason, he could probably even beat guys that have beat me. But for whatever reason, fighter A, fighter B, fighter C, the MMA math adds up to where I've got his number. Conor McGregor has Max Holloway's number. 5 years, 15 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. Time off, no time off, any of that. Max Holloway is, let's put him in a category of A tier. Would you put Max Holloway in the same category as Khabib? Based on what you saw from Charles Oliveira against Max Holloway, how do you think the fight between Khabib and Max Holloway goes? I'm just saying, like, does Max Holloway make it 5 rounds with Khabib, or does he make it 4 rounds like Conor did? Well, let's rewind it back, further back than that, back to Lover's Lane, back to the time you Madonna and cock block your father's game. Anyways, I'm just playing around. I'm just fucking around. That's Eminem. I don't even like Eminem anymore, but I used to listen to him a lot. And so, yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Don't make me start freestyling on this motherfucker. Drop some hot magma. Top 5 rappers of all time. King David, King David, King David, King David, King David, because I spit hot fire. You know what I mean? Let me check the chat real quick. We'll get into these other, what we got left? 3 secrets over here? Let's freaking go. Khabib and Nate, he's 37. I just parlayed Conor, Patty, King Green, and who's that? Elijah? Let's go. Bro, you about to be rich. We got Phoenix Fire MMA. That's real talk. Hey, man, listen. I promote the concept of being a real one. And I practice what I preach. I'm not speculating. I'm not hyperbolizing. You know what I mean? I'm just going by what actually happened. He fought Khabib for 4 rounds. If Max Holloway fought Khabib, I am guaranteeing you the over-under, he would not be favored. Max would not be favored to make it to 4 rounds with Khabib. Just saying. Especially based on what we saw Charles Oliveira do to him. Especially since we've seen what Charles Oliveira did to him. Also, Conor this is just what it is. Conor had his number then. The next thing I want to bring up is that while Conor beat Max Holloway by decision, Conor also took Max Holloway down in that fight. He beat him in grappling. So everyone's like, oh, dude. And guys, please understand that I'm not just, I'm going to drop something. And if you have the ears to hear it, you're going to be able to understand what I'm saying. Conor McGregor at the pre-fight press conference scrum media thing today, when they asked him for a prediction about how it's going to go with Max, Conor's exact words were, I'm going to contort his body into positions, or it was something like that, right? Like, let me look it up. I gotta look it up. Fuck, I'm not even gonna fuck the computer. If one of you guys could look it up, look it up. Well, it was what he said. It was like, I'm gonna contort his body. That doesn't sound like striking to me. I think they see a glaring hole in Max's game. They beat him before in grappling. They can beat him again in grappling. Conor McGregor is a superior grappler. I'm going to say something so fucking controversial right now. You guys are going to think I'm trolling. I swear I am not trolling. People thought I was trolling when I said Gaethje's going to beat Elia. People thought I was trolling when I said, I guarantee 100% that Strickland will beat Hamza. People thought I was trolling. They thought I was trolling when I said Josh Hokett is next for the title. People thought I was trolling. This was before the White House, before any of that. I'm not trolling. Conor might fuck around and submit Max Holloway. Clip that. Clip that and then play it back when it happens. Conor plans on twisting this man up like a pretzel. He sees a clear path to victory. I believe, I believe Conor is a superior martial artist in every aspect to Max Holloway. And Max Holloway is very good at, let's call it, the fundamentals. And Conor's good at not only the fundamentals, the variables, and the X factor. Let me check the chat real quick. Oh, shit. We got AZKB. Yo, I'm back. Been locked up for a bit. Oh, damn. Shit, man. Stay out of trouble, my guy. Stay out of trouble, bro. Stay out of trouble, bro. Breath work and gratitude, my friend. It's... You know what I'm saying? I don't know, dog. I hope you stay out of trouble, brother. Arpon the Don in the chat, 100. We got 10. We thought Conor had Dustin's number 2. He slept him, and he got embarrassed in the second. In the third, looked great until his leg broke. That we can get into that right now because I have some takes on that as well. Right. Yeah, dog. But lots of people are making this claim Conor's going to wrestle fuck him. We're supposed to believe Conor is Marab all of a sudden. Dude, we're not supposed to believe anything. We have a precedent. We can go back and look at history as to what's already happened. He already did it. He swept Nate from X-Guard. He counter-wrestled against Khabib. He stopped Khabib's takedowns at times. He took less damage than most people have taken against Khabib. He beat Max via wrestling and grappling. What about that is, I'm not trying to troll, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm genuinely confused. What about that is controversial? That, like, I'm literally just stating what's already happened. And now we're supposed to believe something else is supposed to happen. So that's kind of my point, right? So as far as the Dustin situation, Dustin in the leg break fight, Conor went in there with a fracture already. So that's one thing. But in the fight where Conor, and this is pure speculation on my part, I believe Conor was doing a lot of blow. And I believe Conor was feeling himself. Because from what I've heard, I've never done it. I drink caffeine, right? That's the upper of my choice. I've actually never done cocaine. I haven't done any actual drugs, like drugs. I've never smoked weed, never smoked a cigarette, anything. Never drank alcohol. I'm not lying. That's just fact. I never started, so I never had to stop, right? But that's my personal choice. But from what I've heard, Conor liked to do blow. And I've also heard that blow makes you like Superman ultra confident. So I believe, and if you guys have done it, maybe you know better than me. He was feeling himself, and he's like, I'm just going to do blow and box. And so he went to the boxing gym and sparred. At that time, he was going back and working with Crumlin Boxing Club as his primary training source, from my understanding. And he went in there like this and was like walking Dustin down which is not how he beat Dustin in the first fight. He went completely into a different game plan in the second fight, which I believe was mind-altered induced, that fight plan, that training system, that lack of attention to detail. And that's what got him slept. Which leads me to my next secret hidden in plain sight as to why Conor McGregor will win. I'm 100% sure is because Conor's sober now. Conor's so sober, and Conor is so connected to God that Conor has gone abstinent for this entire fight camp. He has not partaken in the pleasures of the physical touch. He's locked the fuck in. John Kavanaugh says that he put a bed at the gym so he could sleep at the gym on sparring days. That's very different than a guy partying every night, drinking Irish stout, whatever is proper Irish stout or whatever it is, forged Irish stout and proper 12 and fucking doing blow and sending dick pics to fat chicks. That's a different guy. I believe the coked up, drunk, sending dick pics to fat chicks Conor is the Conor that lost to Dustin in the second fight, because he was like, I'm just gonna box him. And he didn't use all his tools. One of Conor's biggest tools is turning side kicks and spinning heel kicks, which force people into the direction of his left hand. That's neither here nor there. But I believe in this fight with Max Holloway, Conor is locked in, and he's going to use whatever skill set he has that will get the job done. He's already out-grappled him. I believe he can outstrike him, and I believe the power translates better for Conor at 170 than it does for Max. From everybody that I'm interacting with, they're saying that Max put on some sloppy weight. He didn't put on the same type of weight Conor did. Conor put on essentially PED weight and now has leaned out, but he's still going to have gains. I'm expecting this to be similar to when Conor came back and fought Cowboy Cerrone, where people were like, whoa, Conor's back. Let me check the chat real quick. I bet Conor's going to wrestle him. You said it right. That's what he said. A lot of, where the fuck am I at? A lot of other dudes flipping out and posting videos when they get their feelings. Not hating on them, but I respect Conor for getting back in there when he felt like it. Conor by sub is plus 3,000. Drop 100. You know what I'm saying? Don't take gambling advice from me. I'm not here for that. I'm just saying. That's wild. I try to, bro, but it is what it is. I got Conor by TKO third round. Dude, Conor can KO him. Conor can KO him late. Conor can KO him early. Conor can wrestle him. I believe Conor could, in theory, submit him. And people, I'm confused as to how everyone. Well, yeah, he had time off and he was on coke, and now he's not off coke and he's locked in. So why? What is it? It's like the dude who literally came from a country where there had only been like one person who ever made it to the UFC, let alone anybody do well in the UFC, where they didn't even know what MMA was. And this dude, collecting the social welfare, turned himself into a two-weight world champion when everyone thought that was impossible. Remember, people didn't think he was going to beat Jose Aldo. People didn't think he was going to beat Chad Mendes. Mini Mendes. And the dude who's got the mental capacity and whatever spiritual connection he's operating on, he says he feels like these things are happening through him from a power above him. And he's Christian. And he believes that this is God's will. Like, that's a hard dude to beat. Evander Holyfield was the same way when he fought Mike Tyson. He believed God wanted him to win. And you can say, oh, that's fake, that's this, that. Dude, what I'm saying is a person who's got that kind of belief, dude, you think that they're going to just be easy to get out of there when they really believe, like, dude, God wants me to win this fight. God wants me to win. God wants me to praise him. God gave me a second chance. And when the fight gets tough and dirty and crazy, and they're like, no, God wants me to win this, they're going to push through. Anyway, let me read more of the chat, guys. Conor, but I'm watching the live and driving, but as soon as you said stay out of trouble, bro, I didn't run a yellow light. Oh, bro, you know what I'm saying? That's what man. As wholesome as that is, I'm not encouraging anybody to run lights. I just happen to run lights. Okay, that's how I operate. I pull up, I look to my left, I look to my right. If nobody's there, I treat it like a stop sign. I'm not saying do not do that. That's just what I do. My girlfriend thinks it's a wild behavior of mine. But hey, listen, I'm all beat up here from her biting on my lip. So maybe we're both wild. Maybe we're both wild. All right. I know he did that stuff, but what point does that matter today? Like you could do some of the shit you used to do when you were a teenager, 21. I want a belt at 44, my G. That dude had 50 pro fights. And he went on to win a professional Muay Thai title after that. And he fought a UFC veteran to a 5-round decision after I beat him for this. So that guy was in pretty decent shape. But yeah. No, I mean, like, is Conor going to be as fucking flexible as he was when he was 21? Maybe not. But, like, he's going to be way more aware. He's going to have way more maturity of decision making. There's a lot of attributes that come with years and years and years. He was a master of martial arts at like 26. What'd you say? He's 37 now? He's been a master for at least 11 years. That's levels of mastery. Abstinence. Oh shit. He's about to come in peace. He's like, I haven't had physical pleasure in months. He's like, I want to see what type of ferocity that brings to the cage. They're going to need a pit bull to get him off Max. Bro, that's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I'm saying. Dude, it's crazy to me. I have so much love and respect for Conor. We'll see. I'm not throwing any shade at you, my guy. I'm just saying age and time away from something has to affect you. Like, those are not necessarily first order principles, right? Like, age is a proxy for performance, right? So as you age, your performance goes down, but the age itself isn't. So let's say you are a world-class power lifter, and at 21, you could bench press 1,000 pounds. And at 31, you were in your prime and you benched 1,200 pounds. And now you're 45 and you bench 800 pounds. You're still bench pressing 800 pounds. So while you might not be as good as you were in your prime or at 21, if someone comes into a bench press competition and they can't bench 800 pounds, it doesn't matter that they're 25 and they bench 300 pounds. They're still 500 pounds away. And that's what I'm getting at, is that, like, a deteriorated Conor who might be 37 and not 100% capable of doing everything that a 26-year-old Conor could do is still going to beat a, 34-year-old Max? 34? Like, it's still enough. The metric isn't who's older. The metric is who's got enough or who's got more, actually, right? So if he's got more, he's got more. It doesn't matter if he's 37, 27, 47. If he's got more, he's got more. And Conor's got more. Conor's a bad matchup for Max. Now, if he were still partying, doing blow, hanging out on the yacht and the fucking Speedo and all that shit, sending the fucking pictures to the women who I believe are probably too thick to receive those level of pictures from an international celebrity. But if that's what he's into, we're not judging him. I'm just saying, bro, you're married, man. Maybe settle down. You know what I mean? You seem like you got a nice wife. Maybe honor that. And I think he is now, right? But so that's a different dude. Married, family man, sober, connected with God, locked in, sleeping at the gym, Conor. You gonna doubt that guy? You're gonna doubt locked in Conor? I could see if he was still doing blow. I could see if he was still coked out of his mind. I could see if he was still running around with weights on his junk. You know what I mean? Like all that. Maybe he is. Maybe he is in private. Maybe he's doing that for his wife now, which is good. We support that. But we're getting locked in, Conor. All right. Also, one, two. Yeah, so the last thing we're going to talk about here is identity. Conor's identity is not consistent with the way he went out. And if you study human psychology, performance psychology, any of that at all, 99% of what happens comes down to one's identity. Conor had drugs clouding his mind and got a distorted path. He's removed that. And because what was moving him away from his identity is now gone, he's naturally flown back into his identity. And his identity is somebody who sunned Max Holloway, became a 2-division world champion, did the impossible, broke every record imaginable, thinks Khabib is sorry because Khabib took 4 rounds to beat him, and then Khabib didn't continue to fight and do the rematch. And Conor's identity is someone that wants to go for the Triple Crown and beat Islam Makhachev or whoever has the 170-pound title. That's where Conor's mind's at. It's not at like, oh man, I hope I make it to the UFC one day, or like, I hope I win a couple amateur fights and then I can go back. No, dude, he's got a different. It's like when I explain this. So when I'm coaching at Extreme, sometimes the young kids on the team set goals, and I'm like, dude, set bigger goals. Set bigger goals. Like, imagine if you went to GSP and you told GSP, how would you feel if you only won the UFC belt once? That's like way less times than he defended and won the belt. And how many times was he a champion? That's like saying to Elon Musk, what if you woke up tomorrow and you were a millionaire? He's a trillionaire. He's got a different vision, a different goal set. So while Max might have potential to do anything, as I believe we all do, we're creating the image of God. That's a whole nother story. And people go, well, you can't go be a basketball player for 5 foot. That's a different video. We can get into all that step by step and really break down what that means. But for the sake of this video, Max may have identity governors on his capacity for what's possible for Max. And while his identity is very high, Conor's is like the unimaginable. And because Conor no longer has drugs putting a fog in front of his vision, when Conor removes the fog and looks himself in the eyes in the mirror, he's now back in touch with that identity. I believe that's why Conor McGregor is 100% going to beat Max Holloway. Let's freaking go, guys. Let me read the chat real quick. Yeah. Max TKO 3rd or 4th round. Wrong. Do you rate Max highly career-wise currently? So I rate Max high, but I would say that there are tiers, and Max would not be absolute, whatever we call it, S tier. Max is awesome, you know. I'm sure if Max and I fought, I probably wouldn't do well. So this isn't like me saying, oh, Max sucks, which a lot of people would say, you know, like, oh, no, I'm just saying that, like, in the top performers, amongst top performers, there's, let's say, Scottie Pippen, who's, what is he, 60-something now? Speaking of which, he just got a 23-year-old girlfriend, so he's out here. He's really out here, right? But he's really out here. Shout out to Scottie Pippen. But Scottie Pippen had a vision of himself, and Michael Jordan had a different vision of himself. And so it would be challenging for someone to get past their identity ceiling and really start doing the impossible unless their identity was someone who does the impossible. That's what I'm getting at with Max. Max ain't no spring chicken either. I know, that's what I'm saying. Oh, he was just a boy when they fought. Dude, he had been training for years. He turned pro at like whatever, 16. It's not like he was inexperienced. Max, I believe, was on his 6th fight in the UFC when he fought Conor. I believe that was Conor's 2nd fight, or Conor had only had 2 fights. So Max was the more experienced fighter. That's what I'm saying. People, like, there's a list of shit we can go down. You know what I mean? Which we just did in this video. And everyone's just going by, like, vibes. Which is, hey, I fuck with vibe, right? You know what I mean? We get vibey around here. But you know what I'm, like, there's also fact-based evidence and precedent of what's already happened. And the greatest indicator of future behavior is past behavior. So if we look at the past behavior of these two gentlemen, Conor beat him in a decision, won the fight, and out-grappled him. So what conclusion could one come to if that's the information they had? Anyways, guys, that's the chat. We got user SY saying real one, dropping fire emojis. Real ones recognize real ones. I know his ex-wife personally, bro. Yeah, she is probably not thrilled with his new dating decisions. You know what I mean? But listen, you only live once, so do what makes you happy, man. I can't be critical. I'm not going to bring up the age gap between me and my girlfriend. We're with each other because we like each other's personalities. She just happens to be like an international, like, influencer model, you know, beauty pageant winner. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing, Genius 4.0, Berkeley, all that. But what we like most about each other is we have a connection, guys. Real ones in the chat are upon the dawn. The real one himself, the moderator extraordinaire. Let's freaking go, guys. Hey, also, we got a big update coming. I had a software that was working so we could, like, pop shit up and react to it. And you know what I'm saying? Like a normal fucking streamer. Like the bare minimum of any streamer. And I fucked it up. I changed some settings and now it's all broken, right? So Arpon, man, I'm gonna have to get you over here, bro. We're gonna have to handle that, dog. You're out and about right now, my guy. But I'm gonna need you soon, bro. I'm gonna need you soon. Anyways, man, appreciate you guys for hopping on. I have a ton of fun when the chat is popping off. Make sure you have notifications on and hit me back when Conor McGregor beats Max Holloway.